What's up, guys? This is Ed here once again for another edition of Review in Blue here on the Blood Type Online YouTube channel. And today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new Blu-ray release of a brand new film. This movie is actually from Jee-woon. Okay, tried to make sure I got that name right. But Jee-woon brings us his newest film. You might remember him as the director of one of the Korean horror films. I believe it was a Korean horror film. And it was called The Tale of Two Sisters, which a lot of people I know actually really like the movie. And it's not bad. I've seen that, and I'm not really a big fan of that type of movie. But we're going to be taking a look at his newest movie, and it's called I Saw the Devil. This is one that I know people have been talking about for a long time because I've constantly seen the title come up over the last few years. And I knew that this was at least something that was a pretty big deal to come out of Hong Kong, I believe it is. I'm going to look at the press release here so I don't sound like a total dumbass whenever I'm talking about this. But basically, and it doesn't even say, so we're just going to take a guess and say that it's Korean. So anyway, I Saw the Devil is a really cool revenge movie. And a while ago I didn't even know what this movie was about. I kind of figured it was just a horror movie, especially with the title I Saw the Devil. But it's not really at all. Basically what you have here is the story of a serial killer, okay? This guy who completely just kills for kicks, basically. And he's played by actor Choi Min-sik, who you guys might remember as the main character in the film Old Boy. He's a really good actor, and it was nice to see him in something else, and I'll tell you what, he does a really good job in this movie. But he basically plays a serial killer, and, in the day-to-day run of a serial killer like himself, he runs across a young lady, and he terrorizes her, and he actually murders her. And it ends up that her husband, or her boyfriend, so to speak, or her fiance, if you will, is actually a special agent with, some sort of police force, so to speak. And what happens is he decides that he wants to get full-out revenge against this guy. Well, instead of just doing your typical revenge story where, something terrible happens and a character decides to go out and get revenge and basically go out and murder the person who did it. This movie's a little bit different. Basically what you have in this movie is you have the special agent Kim, after his fiance is murdered, basically tries to track down this killer. And once he does, instead of just offing him and that being the end of the movie, he basically puts him in these horribly violent situations in which, basically, I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I'll tell you, like, hypothetically something. Basically, instead of, just showing up somewhere and killing him, he would make him, like, cut off his foot, and, he would help him, like, make sure that he doesn't die from it, get the wound all sewed up and everything and make sure that he's okay. Then he lets him go and then further terrorizes him, at another time and place. So, and that doesn't happen in the movie. I'm just using that as an example. But he basically, it ends up being this cat and mouse thriller kind of a revenge flick, and I really, really enjoyed this one. And this stuff, typically, a lot of Asian films and movies from Hong Kong and stuff like that, outside of kung fu movies anyway, I generally don't like. I think a lot of it's rehash stuff. The whole J-horror thing years ago just seriously made my head want to explode. So whenever I see stuff like this, I'm kind of apprehensive. But I have to say, this movie was actually nothing like I thought it was going to be. Ended up being a really, really good revenge tale with something completely different. Because personally, I love revenge movies. And I think that the formula of making one is almost too easy sometimes, because you just set something up like your typical Death Wish situation where you have like a guy's wife get raped or murdered, and then the husband, goes and tries to, track them down and murder them in brutal ways. That formula works increasingly well for me every time I see it. And as long as you have a decent actor and a good character in the person committing the revenge, you generally have a good movie on your hand. So it was nice to see that, with this one anyway, it didn't go down that route. It didn't take the typical route that movies like that generally do. So that was refreshing. I think the acting in the movie was incredibly well done by all parties involved. I mean, I really think that there's a lot to be said about the cast and how they interact with each other. I think that makes the movie work really well. I think that not only did the actors do a great job, but each of them was cast in a really good way too. Everybody fits their characters pretty well in the movie. The story itself, even though the movie, one of the things I was really surprised about is this movie has a running time of 142 minutes. And you could be really running into dangerous territory when you're trying to do a revenge flick and basically have it be well over 2 hours. But this one, there was no problems for me at all with this one. I really enjoyed it from beginning to end. I thought the pacing was well done. 142-minute running time works well here. They have the material to pad out that time, and it doesn't plod along, doesn't get boring, and it doesn't seem silly or tacked on. And you certainly don't feel like you're sitting there watching a bunch of filler that you don't care about. So that's another strong point of I Saw the Devil. And I definitely recommend this one, especially considering it was something new that I hadn't seen before, and it's a newer film anyways. And anytime I see something that's fairly new and it's pretty damn good, I get impressed by it, and I like to tell as many people as possible because I don't think that we see an abundance of great films coming out, especially genre-related material. And this is a killer revenge movie, pun intended there. So I definitely recommend I Saw the Devil. This one comes out on May 10th from the folks at Magnolia Pictures and Magnet Releasing. I definitely recommend you guys pick this one up. Obviously, check around for sales on the internet. I'm not too sure. I haven't read anything about, the best place to pick it up or the cheapest place to get a copy. But I definitely recommend that you guys at least check this one out. I'm not saying it's going to be for everybody or everybody should run out and buy it. But I'll be honest with you. If I ran out and picked this one up and paid money for it, I would definitely be happy with it. I actually got this. I'm lucky enough to get this from the folks at Magnet Releasing directly, and specifically for review. So I appreciate them for sending this out. I really enjoyed this one a lot. And I definitely think a lot of people out there who are watching this video, if you like revenge flicks, I think you're going to like this one too. So definitely check it out. The Blu-ray release also comes with deleted scenes and a featurette called Rough and Raw, behind the scenes of I Saw the Devil. And I actually watched that, and that stuff's pretty cool too. So it's all bonus features on there. This is the unrated version. I don't know if they're coming out with a specific rated version. But this movie is extremely violent. Extremely well acted, stylish, cool, well directed flick. Definitely recommend I Saw the Devil. So that's it this time around. I'm Ed once again for Reviewing Blue here on the Blood Type Online YouTube channel. Take care, guys. See you next time.